early 1980s, starting with Boesky and the Wall Street scandals and then Milliken and etc., the business leaders have been going to prison and being caught in graft and corruption. And since Vietnam, you've had 15 wars and bombed 17 countries. So, might makes right. That's the message. Might makes right. You don't believe it? Ask George Bush. So this is the world your folks and their folks have given to you. A world of graft and corruption at every level of leadership in this country. And one that, if you're in the wrong, you're smashed. Remember what George Bush said, if you're not with us, you're against us. You can't say it more blatantly than that, can you? And then people still vote Republican. Look at Erie, Pennsylvania. I mean, it's been going downhill since the consolidation of corporate America, economic, and they're still voting Republican, for crying out loud. What an embarrassment. No wonder it's a deserted city. God, I wouldn't want to live here, and I'm sorry for you that do. Now, politically, I'm a libertarian, all right? But, remember, I'm an anarchist culture. Now, I went to a Republican conference on sovereignty in southern New Mexico a year and a half ago. In it, the keynote speaker was the executive director of the Eagle Forum, Phyllis Schlafly. It's a very conservative women's organization within the Republican Party. She was the keynote speaker. She reamed Bush, George Bush. She reamed him about what a traitor he was to the family farmer and the family rancher, that he lied to them. I mean, these are her words, that he was a turncoat. I remember these words because, believe me, it shocked me. But here's a conservative woman talking about how he sold out the family farmer to, guess who? Cargill, Monsanto, and I forget the other third agricultural corporation giant that runs the
Archer Daniel Midland.
that runs the agricultural businesses in this world. In this world. So, and then guess what happens? These same people. I was running for governor of New Mexico, by the way. That's why I was down there. And I had a very, what I called a libertarian, green, democratic, populist platform. I was trying to reach everybody. Typical politician. At any rate, so I was down there, and guess who were the first ones that supported my candidacy for governor? It was those fat rednecks you heard referred to. They're the ones who liked my constitutional approach to economics, to the economy, to buy local. But they also voted Republican. A couple, the following election, a year ago, November. I mean, what's wrong with America? It keeps getting worse and worse economically, socially, culturally. Look how many people we got in prison. We got more people physically in prison than China, man. And this is the greatest country in the world? When is your parents and their parents going to, when are these news people, these local news people going to wake up, man? They're still coming out with Robert Murdoch's tripe and every one of his ilk. No corporation is going to badmouth another corporation. You're the one they're going to badmouth. You're the one that's uncontrollable. It's the youth in this country. You know, I've been around, I've watched since the 70s when the militant organizations went down. That's when America started attacking the youth, the defenseless, the young, and putting them in jail. And Assante's very, very right, man. I mean, you have no idea. When I was in Cleveland, living in Cleveland in 1971, there was an anti-war demonstration from Case Western Reserve University, a university for rich kids, especially from Ohio, especially from the Cleveland area. And I saw the cops come, mounted on horseback with dogs, with fire hoses, and attack all those rich white kids. That's the first time in my life I've ever seen cops attack white kids. And these were rich white kids. I knew it was over then, man. When the government in power starts attacking rich white kids physically, by every means necessary, billy clubs, dogs, hoses, I mean, it's over. That's 1971, folks. By the way, at the time, Case Western Reserve had one of 4 statues of Rodin's Thinker, the Thinker. The next morning after that horrifying bust and beating they were given to those kids, and you have to understand what Case Western Reserve University is. It's a satellite in the black community of Cleveland. So me and all the black brothers and sisters, we were standing there watching the white kids get beat, man. There were maybe a few of us that thought, should we help them? No, they have to learn their lesson, man. But the next day after that happened, the head of Rodin's Thinker at Case Western had been blown off. And there was a sign hanging around its used to be neck. And it stated, I was sitting here thinking about the Vietnam War, and it blew my mind. Some chem student, man, got even, you know. Blew that head off. It was one of 4 in the world, man. So at any rate, so those rich raggers, they learned the lesson real quick, boy. Less than 24 hours, they retaliated big time. And that picture was blown all over the local news media in northern Ohio, you know. And in those days, The Nation